What is up, y'all, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And man, we're going to be talking about some crazy shit, so buckle up. So back in September, you may recall that the rapper by the name of Bhad Bhabie, you might know her better as Danielle Bregoli, who rose to fame. She was the girl that said "Cash Me Outside," how about that, on Dr. Phil. And you know, the rest is history, as they say, right? But we're going to be talking about her and how she gave an address at the prestigious Ivy League school, Oxford. I never could have guessed that in the world, but hey, you know, let's give it a chance. You know, let's hear her out. Let's see what she has to say. And we'll jump into the story and kind of get a little breakdown of how that went down. Let's hop right into it. So I found a pretty good article that kind of like highlights a lot of what she talked about. And I took some of the segments from the article. It's kind of a long article, but I read the whole thing. You know, believe it or not, I actually read. And I screenshot some of the segments that I wanted to talk about. I'll put them all up on screen now. So it starts by saying, among those who have been speakers at the prestigious institution in the past include former presidents such as Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton, dignitaries such as Queen Elizabeth II, Mother Teresa, and the Dalai Lama, historical figures such as Malcolm X and Albert Einstein, and entertainment icons such as Billy Joel and Sir Elton John. At her address, Bhad Bhabie said she wanted to help, quote, young hustlers starting their own business. In August, she was involved with the EduCapital, Foundation in the forming of the Bhad Scholarship, a $1.7 million scholarship to aid 1,000 students in trade and technical schools. So this is kind of the first part I want to talk about. You know, that list of people I read off, you know, pretty prominent figures in history. You know, you've got U.S. presidents, you've got the Queen of England, you know, RIP to her. You know, I'm sure she's chilling with X up there somewhere. But on top of that, you've got people like the Dalai Lama and Malcolm X that genuinely fought for social reform, fought for peace, you know, things like that. And then all of a sudden you've got Bhad Bhabie. Like, where the fuck I want to like find this like fucking sorting hat or some shit where they like pick fucking names from a hat or something, because, you know, with all these prominent figures that have left quite a historical impact on society, you know, some of the things that these people did still fucking pertain to this day. And so I need to know where they're storing this hat, where they just selected Bhad Bhabie's little scrap of paper out of, because I am not understanding how we can possibly consider Bhad Bhabie on the same level as these people. And like, that's no disrespect to her, but I'm just saying these are like literal historical figures that have left a huge impact on the world we live today. And I mean, like, what real impact has she made? You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not trying to like hate on her. I know it's probably coming across that way, but like, compared to these people, you know, I'm just like really confused. So we're talking about an Ivy League school here. We're talking about Oxford. So I don't know like who was in charge of this, you know, sorting names out of a hat. But, you know, that's pretty crazy to consider that. I mean, like, again, this is a very prestigious list of people that have spoken at this university. I mean, like, we have U.S. presidents that have led their country during some of the darkest and bloodiest wars and just periods of conflict. We've got people that have been executed for fighting for peace and social reform. And, you know, some of the greatest artists on the planet. And then just randomly Bhad Bhabie here, who's just like, you know, she's got her little Bhad Bhabie Foundation or whatever where she's throwing some money around. But I mean, like I said, some of these people have literally lost their lives standing for something important. The article continues, though, by saying, we didn't just want to give out tuition funds, but also help the grads with startup capital to launch their own businesses. I can't wait to see what these young hustlers do. Recipients of the Bhad Scholarship will get $1,000 to earmark toward their trade school educations, with $50 getting $10,000 in capital to begin their businesses. According to the outlet, Bregoli will also select graduates to get full scholarships from a fund of $200,000. The businesswoman gave her speech 24 hours before female education activist and Nobel Peace Prize winning Malala Yousafzai. So again, I just got to say, you know, she's got her little Bhad Bhabie Foundation or Bhad Scholarship handing out some money. But I mean, like, again, I mean, we're putting this person on the same pedestal as this Nobel Peace Prize winning person who's giving an address. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, what are we going to see next? Are we going to see, We got Bhad Bhabie at Oxford. Fucking Lil Pump's probably going to go to Yale or some shit. Like, it's just crazy times to be alive. Because, like, I don't know, she's handing out, like, $1,000, $10,000, and some people get, like, $200,000. I feel like as far as starting up a business, that's going to do very little for these people. And I just thought it was so funny, too, how she said young hustlers. Like, man, that is just some of the corniest shit I ever have heard. Like, when I read that, I was straight up embarrassed. Like, I can't imagine showing up to Oxford and talking this way. Like, you just, like, she's got to be, like, the most uneducated person in the room, to be honest. Like, you're the richest person in the room for sure. So, I mean, you can make that claim for sure, but I would just feel super, super uncomfortable. Because, I mean, like, again, how is she on the same plane as some of these people? Like, that's just mind-blowing to me. And the article concludes by saying Miss Bergoli was born on March 26, 2003 in Florida. That shit's crazy, too. 2003, wow. She rose to fame after she appeared in season 15, episode 8 of the chat show Dr. Phil. A member of the audience tried to heckle the teenager, to which she replied, "Cash me outside, how about that?" which became a viral meme on social media. She became the youngest female rapper to earn a place on the Billboard Hot 100 chart with debut single These Hoes. I think that's how you say that. I have not listened to it, if I'm being honest with you. But during her teenage years, she spent months at Turnabout Ranch, a mental health service in Utah where she claimed she was abused. In April 2021, Bhad Bhabie launched her OnlyFans account and broke the records for earning potential on the site. The young sensation copped $1 million in just 6 hours and sits on a total of $52 million from her trade. Primarily known for her quip on live TV, the singer admitted she wanted to be known for more than her millions. The entrepreneur has heavily invested in the U.S. real estate market and has boasted about having more money than her family. Last little bit of information I want to kind of go over before I conclude the video is, first things first, I love how the article is referring to her as a businesswoman and an entrepreneur, because there's a couple things I want to point out. I mean, let's kind of recall why she's even famous in the first place. So essentially, if you want to get really technical, she rose to fame with the "Cash Me Outside, how about that" meme, right? And if we know the origin about that, the reason that became a big deal was because it was funny, obviously, like it was, but the whole point was she was inciting violence. Like, she wanted to go outside to the parking lot and beat some guy's ass. So if you really think about it, she became famous and has all this money because she incited violence and made herself look like a dumbass on live TV in front of Dr. Phil. Side note, I think it's kind of funny how Dr. Phil tries to help people's mental problems by bullying them on live TV. That's a totally different note. But yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing, she rose to fame and made a lot of this money, about $52 million of it apparently, by promoting OnlyFans, you know, spreading her legs and, you know, revealing herself to her audience. I also want to point out on a very side note here. Well, I guess actually it does kind of pertain. So she essentially, made most of her millions essentially because weirdos exist. I mean, like, the clocks rolled, you know, to midnight, 12 o'clock that night. She turned 18. She made her OnlyFans, and like fucking clockwork, the fucking weirdos came in to subscribe to her OnlyFans. Those people belong on a list. So like I said, she essentially made a shit ton of money because there's a bunch of fucking weirdos out there that wanted to see her naked. And she also has a rap career as well, which, like, I guess Kodak started helping her out, and I've never listened to her music, but if like her past of how she presents herself on television and stuff like that is any consolation of what her music's like, I will definitely 100% not be giving it a listen. But kind of just a recap here, she essentially has gotten famous for those three things, right? And these are things that Oxford is basically commemorating, applauding, and promoting, right? If you really think about it, by having Bhad Bhabie show up here. They're promoting, you know, inciting violence, nudity, and sharing your naked body all across the internet for millions upon millions of people to see, and basically just making yourself look like a jackass on live TV. And to me, that is just absolutely wild. Like I said before, I just, in a million years, I would never think that an Ivy school, out of all these successful, impacting people that this planet has ever born, we have Bhad Bhabie giving a speech. But hey, man, I guess anything is possible. So use that as motivation, moving forward. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like rating. Subscribe to the channel for more commentaries just like this. Leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about this, and I will, of course, respond to those comments. And until next time, guys, this is Runter, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.